that they represent almost 600 million people in the world. 600 million people in the world, and you have probably maybe never heard of them. And they say they represent you. Now, they are a worldwide group. They're in 70 countries. They do policy and legislation for countries, for states, for counties, and for cities to do greenhouse gas emissions monitoring, reduction, and goal setting. When Obama was running for office, one of his campaign promises was that he was going to reduce your greenhouse gas emissions by 80% below 1990 levels by the year 2050. So I'm kind of a math person, so I looked around for charts. And I finally found a chart for global CO2 emissions. I couldn't find one for the US, so I found one for global CO2 emissions, historic, from 1850 to 2004. And very predictably, it starts out over here in 1850, it's real low. And then around 1945, it starts to go up. And it goes up, starts to go up. So I looked at 1990 levels, and I took 80% of that, and I looked at what year that was. What year? What year would the world global CO2 emissions be at 80% below 1990 levels? What year was that?
1918.
Close, fairly close. That was good. I've gotten some 1700s from people. It was 1934. 1934. So that's the goal, you guys. Obama has made a commitment to that. In Washington State, you've got 26 cities and 7 counties that are members of ICLEI. That's about half the total population of Washington State is in ICLEI. And aside from that, you've got, in addition to that, you've got Climate Protection Campaign mayors. That's 34 cities. They are committed to meeting or exceeding the Kyoto Treaty. That says no more sprawl. That's what you're living in. If you live out here, you're living in sprawl. Okay? And they're committed to carbon trading. Okay? So I looked at Kyoto and I said, hey, let's see. What country has reduced their greenhouse gas emissions the most in the world?
China?
That's good. What are you, Canadian? That's kind of close. Latvia. Okay, Latvia is the 3rd poorest country in the EU. Most well known for their human rights abuses. So when you've got great control of your people and you're not doing too well financially, your greenhouse gas emissions are going to go down. That's a nice goal. So now you might be wondering, is San Juan County a member of ICLEI? No, it is not. Does that matter? Not that much. Because even though you are not a member of ICLEI, ICLEI is dictating policy for you. I will guarantee you that. Your mayors, your city council people, your county supervisors, your legislators are all on board with this, with your GMA, and you're looking right in the barrel of it right now. So in communitarianism, the ends justifies the means. The ends justifies the means. That's pretty shocking. That's a pretty scary thought to an American or any human being who wants freedom and liberty. So, this is a secret group, ICLEI, even though they say that they're not, they hide, they're trying to hide right now. If you go on their website, we've got them on the run. Now they're saying they have nothing to do with the UN. It's like, don't look behind the curtain. Don't pay any attention to that man behind the curtain. That's not the UN back there. Even though they are a they have special consultative status to the United Nations. They were actually developed and created in order to implement United Nations Agenda 21 throughout the world. And of course, Chairman Maurice Strong says that right in the introduction to Local Agenda 21 Planning Guide, which is everywhere. Bet you look in a bookcase in the back of your legislator's offices, he's got it there. So how did they do it? Of course, as I said, they did the Growing Smart, that book, Growing Smart Legislative Guidebook. It's in every one of your planning departments. There's a planning revolution going on, has been going on for 10 years. I saw that planning revolution. Excuse me. And I said, hey, how come I'm the only one talking about this? Why am I the only person that I know? I'm going to the the Appraisal Institute, I'm going to the American Society of Appraisers with this, I'm going out there to government agencies that I'm working with, and I'm saying, hey, do you guys realize there's a planning revolution going on? Now, I did not know about Growing Smart Legislative Guidebook, but I could see that something was going on because every city was starting to look the same. Ground floor retail, 2 stories or 3 stories of residential above, built to the back of the sidewalk, smart growth. Every town, you see that all over. You know, Washington State is a hotbed of that. Puget Sound area, Seattle, of course, the home. You know, so how are they doing it? Anti-sprawl is mandated now. Regionalization is one of the major methods. With your Growth Management Act of 1990, you've got 3 regions, now they're kind of joined into one, to resolve land disputes. This is so ridiculous, the way they justify themselves. Resolving land disputes, it sounds like such a great thing, like you really need them to do it, but their goals are, their number one goal is urban growth. Now, I don't know if you've looked around here, but this ain't urban. So, urban growth means the real translation of urban growth is get everybody out of the areas that are not urban and get them into the areas that are urban, and reduce sprawl is number 2. Reduce sprawl. That means this is sprawl. You are sprawl. If you live on land, on a single-family residence on land, that is sprawl. So you've got your metropolitan planning organizations. Those are funded either federally, if they're metropolitan planning organizations, or you've got your regional transportation organizations. Those are local. They're funded by your state. There's 14 in Washington State, and it's 38 of the 39 counties. You're not in one here, but don't worry, they're still going to get you anyway. And this is a livable community plan. This is what they call it. They have the rhetoric, okay? Who doesn't want to be green? Who doesn't want to be, get at it. I like green. Green's a great color, right? Vibrant, progressive, hey, walkable, bikeable, right? You want that. Oh, these are all great buzzwords. They paid a lot of money for these buzzwords, right? What's the goal? The EU. You take a look at the EU. That's your goal. The erasure of sovereignty. Loss of boundaries. When you've got regions, it doesn't matter what county you're in. You lose your ability to govern yourself. You have to go to a regional hub. Whoever's sitting on that board, you have people from different, you've got on that board, you've got people from your city, city council people, you've got your county people, county supervisors. Those are the people. It's like, where's the boundary here? How do I get you off? How do I end this board? No way. You want to vote one person off? Fine. You're not going to really impact that board. You have to travel to wherever the board meets. They don't really advertise it. You don't really know what they're up to. They got 15 zillion meetings. You're exhausted running from place to place. And then you're getting Delphi'd anyways. It doesn't much matter. So what you have to do then, well, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Okay, how do they fund it? They're funding it through your transportation dollars. Those are your metropolitan planning organizations, and they're funding it through redevelopment. Now, you don't see that here, but redevelopment is a way to fund the United Nations Agenda 21 because they use your property tax dollars to fight sprawl. They say, hey, this is not going to pencil out when we tell these developers that they have to build ground floor retail and then a couple of stories of residential above, and then pack everybody into those areas right next to your transit station, which may or may not actually exist. Doesn't matter if it exists or not. It can just be planned, right? Because that's the whole idea. The whole idea is to get you into an area where they can monitor and surveil you and control you. Do I look like a crazy person? Do I look like a crazy person to you? Does this sound like a crazy thing?
Yeah.
You bet. It sure does. I wish I was making this up. I am so not making this up. Okay, so I'll tell you, in 1976, this was before the 87 Rutland Commission, in 86, the United Nations Commission on Human Settlements, that was Habitat 1. Here's what they said. They said, land cannot be treated as an ordinary asset, controlled by individuals and subject to the pressures and inefficiencies of the market. Private land ownership is also a principal instrument of accumulation and concentration of wealth, and therefore contributes to social justice. Public control of land use is therefore indispensable. Now, what the heck is wrong with accumulation of wealth? Did I miss that one?
Not fair.
Oh, you're absolutely right. How dare I have more than you? That is so wrong.
Not fair.
Not fair. So, these are the three supports of These are the three supports of Agenda 21. Social equity. That means you can't have any more than I have. Now, watch yourself. Okay, social equity, economy, and ecology.
Oh.
Environment. Excuse me. Social equity, economy, and the environment. These are the three pillars, the three circles of Agenda 21. And you know what? I brought with me, I hope you can see this. This is the Marin Countywide Plan. This is a comprehensive plan. It's like your general plan, your comprehensive plan that you have here in San Juan County. And these plans are all over the United States. Every county has one, every city has one. This is the law now. Okay, this is your land use plan, your housing plan, your water plan, your energy plan, your plan for your life, that you probably got invited to a visioning meeting to give your input on, and they thanked you very much, and you went home, and you felt you did your civic duty. And this is what you got. You got the three circles, the three interlocking circles of Agenda 21. This is out of the Marin County, California, General Plan, right there. Los Angeles County does the same thing. You see it all over. It quotes right out of the United Nations, too. This is in their plan. I've got here a copy of the San Juan Island Community Visioning Summit meeting agenda for last week, the 20th. I'm sure a lot of you were here, giving them hell. That's good. For your shoreline master program update. Yeah, right. That's Agenda 21 right there. Okay. So, don't take my word for it. If you've got doubts about whether communitarian law is happening right now today in the United States, look no further than the Kelo decision, the 2005 Supreme Court decision that said that you basically don't have the right to own your own property if somebody else can make more money with it than you can. And you're going to lose your right. Oh, excuse me. You've already lost your right to your property. That this is a new definition of public use. Eminent domain, Fifth Amendment of the Constitution, that you must have your property paid for. Just compensation must be paid to you if your property is being taken for what? A public use. What's a public use? A road's a public use. Hey, if I want to build a shopping center with 2 stories of residential on top of that, does that sound like a public use?